G'day there guys, Connor here again from Markey Industries. Hope you're all having a fantastic day. I hope Jack didn't scare you guys too much with his entrance there, but no, super excited to have Jack here on the channel reading some more stories for you guys. Don't worry, I'm not going anywhere. I'll still be doing my regular uploads, usually in the mornings for my North American viewers, and Jack will be chipping in here and there with some extra content. Anyway, the more the merrier, I suppose. Anyway, let's get straight to the stories today. Alrighty folks, we're kicking off on relationships. This one was written by a throwaway account, and it's titled, My girlfriend of 1.5 years told me I was needy and we are done. Throwaway because my username is known by my girlfriend and friends and family. This may end up being a wall of text, but here goes. I've been dating my girlfriend, Anna, for about 1.5 years. 5 months ago we moved in together, got a dog, and bought all the new furniture. I've previously been married, so I didn't want to rush, but I'm head over heels for this girl. I made sure that she didn't feel like it was too fast, because she is younger than I, and this is a major concern. Anna told me that she was ready for this, and we both wanted to start our life together. When Anna and I started dating, she was 6 months out of a 5-year relationship, in which her now ex was distant and ignored her. Eventually she got tired of it and left him. I was worried I was a rebound at first, but she quickly alleviated that concern. I've tried to do my best to show her how nuts I am about her. I've never felt this way about anyone before. I tell her often how much she means to me, and I try to do little things like picking up flowers, surprise dates, etc. We've both been happy, but over time I've started to notice her being a bit emotionally distant. She would tell me she loved me when I told her first, and she would reply to cute texts most of the time, but she didn't really initiate either. I started to feel like she was just going through the motions and not really feeling it. I would try to talk with her about this and she would get upset. Anna would tell me, "We're fine, drop it." I tried, but it didn't feel like we were okay. I started to fall into a cycle of worrying about us, which would make her mad, which would make me worry more. This reached a head on Thanksgiving. We went to her large family Thanksgiving, 50 plus people, and I can admit I was needy. I felt like she was mad at me because she was being abrupt. I felt this horrible distance, and no matter what I could do, it just got worse. We went home the next day, and she told me that she needed a break. I asked what was going on, and she said that she was exhausted by having to reassure me about our relationship, and that I didn't believe her when she told me she loved me. I left and stayed at a hotel for 2 days. When I returned home, she said she wanted to make it work. I told her I would try to need less, if she could try to give more. I really wanted her to take the initiative sometimes, and I recognized that I was being needy. We did well for a while. I told myself that she was showing love for me in other ways, making dinner, asking what I wanted to watch, going on dog walks with me, even if she wasn't taking the initiatives in the ways that I did. Anna told me she saw me working on it, and we were doing well. Making Christmas plans, I asked Anna if she wanted me to come to her parents, and she told me she really wanted it to be just her family. Trying to not be needy, I accepted this and made plans to go to my parents. We celebrated our couple's Christmas about a week before she planned on going to her parents, about 1.5 hours away, and I was going to mine, 9 hours away, for actual Christmas. The plan was for me to meet her at her parents for New Year's, and we would go home the next day. During our week apart, I started to miss her. I tried not to be needy, just to text every now and then and to call on Christmas Day. She also kept in better contact, which I enjoyed. I was a little concerned when I learned that Anna was letting her best friend plan her birthday later this month instead of me. Anna planned mine. I assumed I would plan hers. She told me it was no big deal. I tried to let it go, even though I felt excluded. I also got concerned about our lease. We had a chance to save 5% in rent if we signed early for another year. I asked her about it, and even though I thought we both liked the apartment, she said she didn't want to lock in for another year because she wasn't sure where she wanted to be in a year. This worried me. We had talked about staying another year. I asked, "You mean the apartment, right? Not us?" I know it was a stupid question. She got mad and said, "God, yes, we're fine." I apologized. I was excited for us to see each other on New Year's Eve. I'm a romantic, and I was hoping for the storybook giant hug, kiss, and I missed you. When I arrived at her parents', she came out with our dog, and I told her how much I missed and loved her. She said, "Okay, missed you too." No smile, no kiss, no nothing. I got a sinking feeling. I told her flat out, "I'm not trying to be needy, babe, but I was hoping you would be excited to see me." She told me she was excited. I was just more enthusiastic about it. I let it go, and we went out with friends for New Year's. I still felt this distance. New Year's morning we woke up. I rolled over and told her that I wanted this year to be the year we really focus on us, that I was excited to keep working on getting us to a good place. She didn't seem to care. I asked her what was going on and said once again, "We're fine, drop it." I told her that I didn't feel like we were fine. Why can't we talk about stuff? Why can't I get any real emotions from you? She went off. She told me that she was exhausted by how needy I am and was tired of reassuring me, and she didn't feel like anything had gotten better since our break. I told her that it's hard to feel secure when she keeps making me feel insecure, and I thought she said we were getting better. She told me she isn't my mother and that's not her job. I told her I love her and I want to make this work, but we both need to be working at it. She told me that she didn't want to work at it and we were done. I asked her not to do this again, the after Thanksgiving break, that we can fight, argue and disagree and fix things instead of breaking up. She told me again she was tired of trying. We were done. I dropped her off at her parents and told her, "I love you, please don't do this. If you love me, we can make this work." She replied, "I'm not happy. I don't love you right now." I left and I haven't seen her in 4 days. I haven't heard anything from her. One of my friends texted her asking what happened, and she told her, "He's a great person. He will make someone happy someday." I talked to her friend, the one planning the birthday, who told me, "I told her she shouldn't have gotten back with you after Thanksgiving. I think she moved in with you out of convenience. She likes you as a person, but you're different people." Obviously not what I wanted to hear, and I don't know what to make of it. So there we are. I'm feeling lost, sad, ticked off and alone. My friends have been super supportive, but I miss Anna and our dog. I've been alone in our home, sleeping alone in our bed, miserable. I guess this post is part venting, part asking advice. What do I do from here? I'm afraid if I call or text her, she will just see me as being needy again. I honestly love Anna and want to make it work, but I don't know how to make it better, or if she even wants to. I don't know if I'm being unreasonable wanting her to be more emotionally available. I don't know when she's coming home or anything. Thank you all for sticking with this long post. Honestly, to me it sounds like she's checked out, and probably a long time ago as well. This is a pretty natural end of a relationship in my opinion. I mean, she's clearly not invested in OP the same way OP is invested in her. And that just fundamentally can't work, regardless of how needy OP is or isn't. I think Anna being pissed off with OP's need for reassurance is more to do with the fact that deep down she knows she's checked out, and she's more angry at the fact that it's not going to work out than she is of OP asking questions. But then again, it could be a whole other myriad of things. Let's go to the comments. This post makes me really sad. You sound like such a caring person with a lot of love to give. From the sounds of it, you guys are just incompatible in terms of emotional sensitivity, affection, and love languages. From your description, she sounds pretty cold and closed off. I'm wondering if she could also have an avoidant attachment style. Could be insightful to read about this if you haven't already. It's hard to say how much, if any, of this is you being needy versus her being just unreasonably distant and cold. I totally get that it's annoying and maybe a deal breaker to constantly have to reassure a partner, but it actually sounds like she's offering you way too little emotionally by, I'd guess, most people's standards. I'm very sorry that she has ended things. That is so difficult to deal with. Try to remember that this will allow you to meet someone else who will happily return your love and affection and not be put off by talking about emotions or your relationship. Since you described her as lacking so much affection, kindness and patience, I'm curious what good qualities she does have that makes you love her. Opie replies, "Thank you for the kind and thoughtful reply. Reading it actually made me cry. It's hard to nail down what you love about someone. I love her smile. I love the way she used to look at me. I love that she is smart, and we feel the same about most things. I love how excited she gets about her work." Well, first of all, you need to stop calling her your girlfriend. Rip the band-aid off. She's now an ex. It's hard to tell if you really are super needy or she is really super distant or just a combination of the both, but that doesn't really matter at this point either. Don't call or text her. Focus on picking yourself back up. I know it's an awful feeling, but did you really want to live your life with someone who doesn't love you? I've been a lot like you in the past, OP, and I'm now more like Anna. So how I see it is that you're completely overwhelming her with your constant anxiety about the relationship. It's not easy to deal with someone who needs reassuring all the time, so a breakup is honestly probably for the best. Maybe you should take some time to reflect exactly what it is you want from a relationship that you weren't getting from her. And it's probably also a good idea to seek some therapy to work through this out of control anxiety. It's easy to see that you've got a good heart and it's in the right place, but for some people, the need to constantly deal with baseless anxiety is just too much. You honestly sound exactly like my boyfriend. We're literally going through this exact scenario. And for me, the more he asks for constant reassurance that I like him and want to be with him, the less I actually like him and want to be with him. Trying to explain all of this to him goes right over his head, and he just asks for reassurance even more. You may not think you're being needy, but you are. It takes a lot to undo the frustration that comes from having a needy partner, and you don't really seem to understand that. I'm days away from ending things with my boyfriend because he won't stop asking for reassurance, and it's honestly a bit of a relief to not have to deal with needing to constantly reassure him anymore. Edit to add, you know why I say "it's fine, drop it" to my boyfriend? Because when I've tried explaining all the previous times he's asked, he doesn't actually listen to what I say. When I would tell him I would end things if I didn't want to be with him, he ignored it. When I told him that if I didn't want to go on dates with him, I wouldn't be sitting across from him, he ignored it. So I realized that saying "it's fine, drop it" was the easiest thing to say because he wouldn't actually listen even when I told him exactly how I felt. Her saying that you haven't changed tells me that you really haven't. You've just found sneakier ways to ask for constant reassurance. Seriously, get her to give her version of events on here, and I'm sure it would make you look significantly less sympathetic. Yeah, I can totally see both sides here, but not even getting a kiss on New Year's? I mean, that's pretty much the bare minimum of basic affection, right? I feel like 99% of people on here would at least expect that from their significant other. So to say that his anxiety over the relationship is baseless is a bit of a weird claim. Let's go to an update. Thank you all for the advice and feedback. For clarity's sake, I wasn't trying to win Anna back after all the crap she pulled. At first, absolutely, but not now. Of course, I miss what we had, but I am ready for this to be over with. She told me yesterday that she's moving out this weekend. A week passed after the breakup, and I heard nothing from Anna. I took everyone's advice and did not contact her. I came home from the gym, also took that advice, one night, and there she was, sitting on the couch, crying. I sat by her and she unloaded. She told me that she was sorry, that she had treated me like her ex had treated her. As mentioned in the old post, her ex was distant and unavailable and neglected her for 5 years. She said that I wasn't too needy, she just couldn't open up. She said that I was the best boyfriend she had ever had, that our relationship was amazing and I'd done nothing wrong. I told her that I still loved her, that she was the best part of my life. I asked her if she wanted to work it out, and she said, "No, we're done. I don't feel butterflies every day." I told her that real adult relationships take work, that you won't feel that new love butterfly feeling every day, but you work on it and make sure you're both happy. She told me it was easier to leave than to work on it, and that was what she wanted to do. After we spoke, she gathered some clothes and left again, presumably to her parents. She returned a few days later and was a different person. I would try to tell her that I still loved her and we could work it out. She would act like she couldn't hear me or I wasn't there, like literally staring past me. Eventually she yelled at me, "Why are you fighting for this? It's done." I told her fine, if she wanted to leave the life we started, the apartment, the dog, furniture, etc., then she needed to leave. I told her that I couldn't bear to live with her as roommates and not as a couple. She said she would start looking for a new place. I told her I would be keeping the dog. She told me she hated me for doing so and said, "See, I knew you were an a-hole. I'm glad I left you." After a few days of sleeping on the couch while she was in what was our bedroom, I came home from work and she had moved all of my things, clothes, possessions, everything, out of our bedroom and into the guest bedroom and bathroom. She told me the master bedroom and bath were hers and not to go near them. I asked that we at least be civil to one another, if for no other reason than to honor the relationship we had. She ignored me and continued to act like I wasn't there. I told her she needed to find a new place, ASAP. We continued like this for a while, her acting like I wasn't there, me being heartbroken. I stopped trying to talk to her about working it out. At every opportunity, she would make a nasty or mean comment, telling me not to sit on her couch. We financed the furniture in her name as her credit was better. Telling me not to eat her food that we had bought together. Throwing clothes that I'd bought for her at me, saying, "Give these to your next frickin' girlfriend." Accidentally dropping my toothbrush in the trash, talking on the phone and loudly saying, "Yeah, he's still here. I know he's an a-hole," etc. She's acting like I cheated on her, or decided to end the relationship, or somehow wronged her. In the meantime, most of her friends and family, including her mother who called me crying, have been asking what is wrong with her and why she is doing this. I'm not digging and I'm not reaching out to them, but all of them are telling me she's gone off the deep end. About 2.5 weeks after the breakup, with us still in the same place, I was at dinner with a friend who was using a dating app. He opened it and the first profile to show up was Anna. She used pictures of us with me cropped out as her profile. I was devastated. When I got home, I told her I'd seen her profile, and she literally laughed in my face. She said, "Yeah, how else am I going to get over you?" I was mad, heartbroken, and confused. I told her that it made me feel like we meant nothing to her. I asked, "Did we mean that little to you? You didn't even wait a month?" She shrugged and walked away. She left that evening and didn't come home until the next morning, in the same clothes. She did that 2 more days in a row. I'm not an idiot. I've seen a walk of shame before. Sunday, she came home to pick up some clothes. I asked if she was staying. She said, "No, I have a ride waiting. Don't go outside." I looked out the window and there was some ugly dude in a car. I couldn't believe this crap. I said, "Are you freaking kidding? Are you dating him or something?" She replied, "No, I'm just sleeping with him." Again, I was floored. See a trend? I could not freaking believe this. Less than 3 weeks ago, I wanted to spend my life with this woman. A month ago, we talked about buying a house. And now this? I said, "Does he know about me? Does he know that you still live with the man you said you wanted to spend your life with?" She said no. I told her I should go introduce myself, and she replied, "Why do you want to ruin this for me?" I had no words. I went outside, she followed and jumped in his car. They sped off. I called her, it went to voicemail. I left the following message. "Anna, I loved you without condition since we met. I did nothing but support, honor, respect, and care for you. I cannot believe you would do this and bring him here. You are acting like garbage. Seriously, you're frickin' trashy. What happened to you? Don't you ever dare bring him or anyone else to my home again. I don't know what happened to the woman I loved, but she is dead to me. I need you to move out ASAP." She returned 2 days ago and told me that if I speak to her, she will call the cops for harassment. She started packing by putting my bath towels, or hers before we moved in together. We donated my stuff because we would have doubles, in a box, as well as other things I use on a daily basis. She took the soap and toaster, like who does that? I tried to talk to her. I asked her, "Can't we at least be civil and decent to one another? We loved each other for a long time. Doesn't that at least mean something?" She told me it didn't mean anything. You didn't mean anything. That leveled me. After that, she didn't speak except to say, "Oh, you probably noticed the hickey on my neck. Yeah, I don't remember which one gave me that." I'm done. I'm disgusted by her behavior and heartbroken, missing the woman I used to know and love. She's told me she will give me 30 days notice when she plans to leave. I'm counting the minutes. In the meantime, it feels like she's taking every opportunity to hurt me, make me feel small, and treat me like I wronged her. She's even taken to ignoring the dog we got together, not taking it out when I'm not home, then texting me, "Your dog peed on the floor. You're not a very good pet owner." I wanted to thank everyone who messaged and replied to the last thread. This has been one of the hardest times of my life, and you've all been very supportive. I'm starting therapy next week, and I've signed up for a kickboxing class. I'm ready to move on, even if I'm not ready to be healed yet. Wow, the way she is acting is just incredible, and definitely not in a good way. I feel like for a lot of people after a breakup, it's a lot easier to hate your ex than it is to still love them. It makes coping with the breakup a bit easier. Maybe this is her messed up way of creating that distance between them. Regardless, it's not the right way to go about it. Let's go to some final comments. Stop trying to win her back. Stop trying to guilt her for moving on. Stop expecting anything from her. Yes, she's acting horribly. Don't play her game. I don't condone your girlfriend's behaviour, but here's what she's thinking and why she's acting this way. In her mind, she sacrificed a lot and made a lot of changes to move in with you. Then you turned out not to be who she thought you were. Instead of being the great guy who would lead her to the great future she imagined, you were kind of a mopey, needy guy who was hard to live with. After seeing that side of you, she felt tricked, even betrayed. She sacrificed for you and you tricked her, and now she wants to hurt you. She's fresh out of what she thought would be a serious relationship, so she doesn't want anything serious right now. So she's online looking for hookups and doing quite well, it sounds like. To her credit, she didn't try to rub that in your face until you made an issue about it. You found out about her dating life independently. She thinks she should be able to come and go without you keeping tabs on her and starting her new life. She's already sacrificed enough for you. Dude, screw that apartment. Talk to your leasing company and ask if you can find someone to sublease the second room in order to absolve you from the lease. There are lots of great apartments. You only want to stay out of your spiteful feelings for her. She is self-destructing. Don't let her damage you any more than she already has. Opie says, thanks for the feedback. Anna is supposedly moving out this weekend. I want to break up with both of them. The more I read, the sorrier I felt for the dog. Especially the tantrums about accidents when no one was taking it out. Poor thing. Holy crap, this guy is so needy. What's with the overly dramatic lines? Did we mean nothing to you? Like he thinks this is a movie and he's deliberately making openings for her evil one-liners, and she's acting like a spiteful teenager. I get her rationale. She wants him to hate her as that's the only way she believes he'll actually give up on her, and she's probably not far from the truth either. He's 10 years older, but his credit rating wasn't as good as hers. He keeps harping on about his neediness. There's a lot of missing reasons here. Not making excuses for Anna's behaviour, she was rather cruel. Why not just break up, move out and be done? But I think one commenter hit the nail on the head. I don't think she's treating him right. I think she should have moved out when they broke up. I think she's being awful and selfish. But damn, this man is exhausting. The longer I read, the less I sympathised with him. He sounds like a broke 36-year-old who was both emotionally and financially draining his girlfriend who was 10 years younger than him. Yeah, easy to forget about the 10-year age gap reading that's for sure. Would be really interesting to see the girlfriend's perspective of this one, but I guess we'll never know. What do you guys think? Let me know your thoughts in the comments below. Anyway, that's it from that story, and we're going to move on to the next one. Okie dokie, this next one was posted on a couple different subreddits. It was originally posted on Relationship Advice, and it's titled, I, 37 male, want to try and get back with the one who got away, 36 female. Is there any chance of that happening? I've been tearing myself apart just thinking about her and how things ended. I can't stop no matter how much I try. This is going to be a long post, and I know I'm writing a lot of rambling and nonsense. When I was 20, I met the most beautiful woman, Lila, who was 19 at the time. She was beautiful both inside and out. She had the most gorgeous dark brown hair that looked red and purple when the light hit it just right. These golden brown eyes and lashes that looked like a doll's, freckles on her rosy plump cheeks, and a single dimple when she smiled a certain way. She was a year younger than me, but yet she was almost so much smarter and mature in every aspect. We dated for 2 years. I met her parents, and her no-nonsense cop father definitely gave me the stank eye at first, but he grew to like me. Her mum adored me right off the bat, always commenting on how my green eyes complemented her daughter's golden brown eyes in the most romantic way. I still don't fully understand what that means, but I liked the compliment. Her younger siblings loved playing in the backyard with me. She met my parents and my 2 brothers, and they all loved her right off the bat. My younger brother was the same age as her, and they were going to college together and would help each other study in some of the shared classes their majors had. Hell, even my 6-month-old dog I'd adopted before even meeting her seemed to like her more than he liked me. She told me her dreams, how she wanted to own a home that was tucked away from everything, but not completely isolated, how she wanted to be a doctor, and that she wanted to help people. She wanted to be a pediatrician. She loved kids. She always said she wanted a family. She didn't care how many kids she had, she just wanted to experience the ups and downs of motherhood. She wanted the good, the bad, and the ugly. I listened to her go on and on about baby names and how she would design a nursery. At the time, I thought I wanted kids too. I wanted to marry this girl and give her the family she so clearly wanted. She was my Lila. I wanted to stay with her forever. I was young, but I was in love with her. After 2 years of dating, I started to realize that I didn't want to have kids. I thought I was just being around too many of my bratty cousins and that was turning me off from the idea. But the more I thought about it, the more the idea of having to be a father made me sick. I would get headaches and my stomach would twist in knots, thinking about having to take care of some screaming, crying and crapping little thing, and then having it grow into tantrum-throwing toddlers, a bratty child and then some moody teenager. I didn't want to be held down like that. I wanted to travel, have money, be free. After a few drinks one night, I ended up telling all of this to Lila. I remember she went quiet and simply said, "I won't try and change your mind, but I'm not giving up my dreams." I remember scoffing and rolling my eyes, telling her that we weren't going to have kids. She stood up from the couch and said, "You might not want that anymore, but I still do. I'm not going to try and force either one of our minds to change. Then one of us will end up miserable." I realized she was breaking up with me, and even though she was so calm and mature about it, I remember feeling so angry. She was walking around the apartment gathering her things and being completely silent. I kept arguing with her, trying to change her mind. I kept telling her that it was stupid to want kids, that they were annoying and a waste of time. When she still didn't budge, I started to insult her. I said she was stupid, that she was a weak woman for wanting to be a mum, that she should just give up on being a doctor so she could push out her brats. Lila finally started to respond to me, telling me to calm down, that we simply wanted different things in life and that was okay. I hated her in that moment, that she wasn't agreeing with me. I remember punching the wall of our apartment, kicking a door, throwing anything I could get my hands on. She watched me wreck our living room and kitchen, not saying a word. She walked past me and left. This whole thing happened over a few hours. In less than a day, I lost the love of my life, and my apartment was now trashed. Of course, news of why we broke up and my reaction to it reached my family. My mum cried, hearing how I reacted. My dad gave me the coldest look I'd ever seen. My brothers both said I was an idiot, with my younger brother saying I was lucky Lila hadn't called the cops on me during that. That was 15 years ago. I've tried to have relationships since, but they never lasted more than a few weeks. I travel around for work, but now I'm back in the same town Lila lives in. Lila got married, got her doctorate, had kids, and is still a pediatrician last I heard. I know my younger brother still kept some contact with her in the first few years after the breakup. He even invited her to his wedding, but she declined because she didn't want to cause drama. I'm back in her town, the town we both grew up in, dated in, lived in, and where she currently lives. I can't stop thinking about her. I miss her so much right now. I miss her sweet perfume that smelled like a bakery, her strawberry shampoo, the way her hair looks in the light. She's 36 now, and I want to reach out to her and make amends with her. I want to hold and hug her one last time, to tell her I love her and I'm sorry. I don't know if that's a good idea, but a part of me needs closure. I don't know what to do. I want to sweep her off her feet and have her be my love again, but I don't know if that ship has sailed already. Yeah, mate, I'd say it has. You stuffed up big time with that outburst. She doesn't owe you anything, and most of all, you don't deserve it. Let's go to the comments. What exactly makes you think she'd ever want to leave a man she's far more compatible with than you, and the children she's wanted for years, for a piss-baby man-child who threw a massive tantrum over breaking up because of irreconcilable differences? She has everything she's always wanted. Why would she throw that away now? Part of me needs closure. You already have all the closure you need. She broke up with you because your life goals were incompatible. She's married with kids. You didn't want kids, remember? And has a career as a pediatrician. Leave her alone. Also, closure doesn't ever really happen like people want. I could tell off the guy who totaled my car and killed my dog, but that isn't really closure. People seem to believe that talking to the other person about what happened and putting it all out there will mean closure. It doesn't. People think that after saying it they'll be happy and it will have fixed everything and answered the questions. It doesn't. It still happened. Closure is about yourself. So his closure that he desperately needs is probably in the form of therapy, anger management, self-forgiveness, acceptance, etc. No point of his closure should involve her. I worry I'm going to read this in some news article about you as a suspect in her rejection murder in the future, under some clip of your family crying about what a nice girl she was. It's been 15 years? At this point, you're scary. Seriously, someone needs to warn this woman that some creep she dated almost 2 decades ago is still this frickin' stuck on her. Does she even remember this a-hole's name? Meanwhile, his brain is at a standstill in 2007. OP, you have romanticized an ideal in your head that isn't a real person. You haven't known this woman since she was barely out of teenagehood. She is a completely different person than the one you dated, and honestly, it doesn't even sound like you're remembering the real her. You're remembering an avatar of the perfect woman. You don't love her. You love your memory of young love and the conflation of turbulence with the idea of passion. She's married. She's not available for you to date, and even if she were, you are clearly in a totally inappropriate headspace to approach her. I'll be totally honest, you were abusive towards her at the end of your relationship, and her memory of you is likely the one she got away from. Do you even want to be a step-parent? Not that that's truly relevant, because again, she's married, but you never state anywhere in here that your mind changed on parenthood, which was the big deal breaker for the two of you. Leave her alone and seek out a therapist instead, so you can unpack these feelings in a healthy way, and let go of this relationship so you can find someone you're actually compatible with. Closure is not something someone else can give you. You have to figure out how to close that door yourself, because it's not really lather on the other side of it. It's your regrets about your own behaviour. Okay, now Opie posts on True Off My Chest. I recently reached out to an ex-girlfriend of mine to see about meeting up and catching up on life. I didn't expect her to respond to me as we ended on bad terms. She responded. We ended up messaging for a while and did some catching up. I finally asked her if she'd be willing to see me in person, and said she'd be willing to meet up with me. I'm over the moon, but I'm also nervous about going on a date with her. She's 36 and I'm 37, and our last time being on dates with one another was close to 15 years ago. Our date is tomorrow evening after she gets off work. I'm scared I'll mess things up again. I already feel like she's being too generous with me by even agreeing to speak with me again, let alone see me in person, but I'll take any chance I can to try and make things right with her. I can't shake this horrible feeling in the back of my throat that I'll mess something up, that I'll just end up more heartbroken than before, that I'll come on too strong and she won't want to see me ever again. I've bought her favourite flowers for her. I've already made sure to start re-wearing her favourite cologne of mine from all those years ago. I've been practicing what I need and what I want to say to her. I have no idea how this date's going to go, but I just need to type out these feelings of nervousness I have. Yeah, I don't feel like this is a date, man. I feel like he's got to get that idea out of his head ASAP. Let's go to an update from the first post. Following my last post, I reached out to Lila. I had to. I know a lot of people wanted me to never contact her again, despite how I wanted to make amends with her. So I reached out to her, and she responded, and we chatted back and forth a bit. After a bit of this, I asked her if she wanted to meet up, and basically let her set all the ground rules. She agreed, and 3 days ago we went on a date. She is just as beautiful as she was when we were together. Her figure filled out, and she finally lost the baby fat on her face, but she was still the same woman I fell in love with all those years ago. We sat down and talked. I didn't want to talk much about myself, but she asked about my life, so I had to. She asked about my job, my family, how I'd been, typical catching up stuff. I'll admit I was zoned out for most of this, and I was operating on autopilot to keep my nerves from taking over. I just wanted to grab her and hold her, kiss her, make her mine again. I don't think I realized just how much I missed her until she was right in front of me. Finally, when she was done asking about me, I finally got to ask about her and how she's been. She got married 11 years ago, so 4 years after our breakup. She has 2 daughters, an 8-year-old and a 6-year-old. I saw how happy she was when she talked about them, and I couldn't help but feel jealous and guilty. I should have been the one to have children with her, but I was stupid, and now she has kids with someone that wasn't me. I asked about her husband, and turns out she's a widow. He died 7 years ago while she was pregnant with her youngest. It was unexpected, according to her, but that she's done her best to move on and hold herself together and appear unaffected by it all for her daughters. I asked her if she was seeing anyone, and she said no. I asked her if she ever thought about me after our breakup, and she got vague with her answers. I told her she could tell me blunt what she was thinking. Lila said that she was very depressed after our breakup. She had built a future of us in her head, and she felt like I broke it on a whim with no warning. She said she lost her first real relationship and all the dreams she had with me when we broke up. She admitted that she'd been so attached and in love with me that for a while she almost tried to convince herself that she didn't want kids, but no matter what she did, she couldn't stop herself from wanting to be a mum, and she knew that if she gave that up voluntarily, she would be miserable for the rest of her life. I asked her if I scared her that night, if she felt threatened by me at all. She said the yelling overwhelmed her, and while the commotion frightened her, she wouldn't say she feared for her safety or life, so that gave me hope. I apologized to her about how we broke up, and told her I'd regretted everything I did and said that night. She said she'd moved on and forgiven me years ago. She was always a very forgiving and kind person, part of the reason I fell in love with her in the first place. I asked her if she was willing to give me another chance and let me back in her life. She was hesitant and got quiet for a moment. I could feel myself panicking when that happened. She said that she didn't mind me being in her life, but that I'd have to regain her trust in order for her to consider even trying to date me. I was disappointed, frustrated, and very disheartened, but I knew if I came on too strong, she'd turn me away completely. I told her I'd be happy to be in her life any way that I can, and that with her permission, I'd be working to prove I deserved a second chance at romance. I'm happy to have Lila send me back into my life, and I'm going to work on proving to her that we should get back together. I hope that we can have the family and life she's always talked to me about. I know there's still time, but the clock is ticking on it. I'm hoping that one day I'll be posting for advice on the family we'll have together, if all things go well. Oh man, this Lila girl sounds way too kind for her own good. I imagine a lot of the comments are going to think that Opie doesn't deserve a second chance. Let's go to those comments. This is probably a quit while you're ahead proposition. She already has a family and may not be looking to subdivide the time she has as a widowed parent to take on the immense challenge of starting over. She may with time be willing to date you, but until you can dispense of your fantasies about her being a blank slate you can imprint yourself onto, this is likely doomed. And what if her figure hadn't filled out? What if she still had the baby fat on her face? You haven't had a relationship in 11 years and are obsessed with the woman you terrorized. You're no prize. She would be the most idiotic moron alive if she even considered this, let alone let you near her children. She needs a restraining order, and you need intensive therapy. Whew, okay, Opie makes a separate post and drew off my chest. It's titled, Unsure How to Proceed in My Relationship. Should I ask her to be my official girlfriend? So me and this woman have been seeing each other for a bit under a month now. It's been casual meetups and dates, no sex as she wants to wait. We used to date in the past, broke up, but now we're seeing each other again. Is it too early to ask her to be my official girlfriend again? I feel like we're acting like a couple without the label, which is frustrating. I've met her kids and given them a handful of lifts to and from school. I've spent the night at her house once. I bring her flowers to her work and to every date we have. I feel like we're a couple, so is it appropriate to ask her to be my official girlfriend? And now for another post on the same subreddit, titled, My girlfriend is pregnant. She's happy about it. I'm not. It was just casual dating for a few months, and we've only been intimate a few times. She isn't on any birth control, and she made it clear she wasn't going to get on any, so if I wanted to be intimate with her, it was going to be on my end. I was stupid and didn't use protection, and now she's pregnant. She's only about 4 weeks, caught it during her routine blood work at the doctor's office. She's surprisingly optimistic about this. I am not. She's already thinking ahead and planning about putting parts of her paycheck aside to prepare for the baby and has already started to eat a bit healthier. I don't think I want this. She has 2 kids from a previous relationship that I like enough, but I don't think I can deal with a baby in toddler stage. She keeps telling me that it'll all be okay, that everything happens for a reason and the universe had a plan for this. But I'm getting real tired of that hippie bullcrap. I just wish I could go back in time and stop this whole thing from happening. How do I talk with her about this? She's already so happy and attached to this thing, but I just feel panic whenever I think about this thing being born. I need advice quickly. Wow, I was already in that camp, but honestly, screw this guy. What does he want? He spent this whole time trying to win her back, whining about what he did wrong, what he'd do differently, getting jealous that someone else had a kid with her, and now that he's seemingly won back the woman of his dreams and gotten her pregnant, he's backflipped on everything again and now wants out. Honestly, at this point, I feel like this guy deserves a life of being perpetually single and miserable. Let's read some final comments. Wow, I hate this guy. I had a whole rant I was going to write, but nope, you nailed it with one sentence. It's been a long time since I've wanted to punch someone in the face like I do this guy. I'm really hoping this is just someone's writing practice and not legitimate. Decide you never want kids. Get back with your ex, who now has 2 kids. Don't use protection. Shocked Pikachu.
It's sad, she's going to end up raising another child alone. If this is real, poor Lila to have the misfortune of this idiot upending her life twice. How can she be so smart and yet so goddamn stupid? Those green eyes must be really dazzling because he sure comes off like a piece of crap. Yeah, I don't think it's up for debate anymore though. He is a piece of crap. Absolute prick. Anyway guys, that's the last update for that story so far. I'll keep an eye out for any future ones. Fingers crossed for a good one. Anyway guys, that's it from me today. Hope you all enjoyed those stories. Thanks for making it to the end, and I'll see you all in the next video. Have a good day. Cheers.